What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. As you can see, I'm in the garage, so you already know what that means. I got this new mic. What I notice whenever I'm in the garage working, I used to have a stationary mic on top of the camera, and it used to work just fine when I'm close to the phone. But whenever I'm further away, I noticed the audio was not as good. So I bought these little Amazon pieces. So hopefully this does help out with carrying the voice and so on throughout the whole video. Now what's happening in this video is I am going to be installing a set of SPAL fans that I bought from Zupra. Actually, I don't know his name, but he has a YouTube channel. I'm gonna drop his thing right here, his handle. And he posted these, he took it off his Supra. I bought them. When they showed up, it showed up just the fans and the wiring. So I'll explain what I have to do to make it work. Now, in the interest of time, I have gone and removed my stock fan shroud and the stock mechanical fan. And so the car is basically stripped down. I also ran a couple of wires from inside the car and from the battery terminal, but I'll explain the whole thing and it will all make sense. So I'm gonna pick the camera up and show you what all I have and what I need to do to make these fans work. So let's go. In short, there are two fans, two fuses, 60 amp fuse, and just the wiring that goes with it. So far it all makes sense. These are the two red cables that will go to each individual fan, and these are the two grounds, and that's all there is at the moment. I have a HALTECH ECU, and HALTECH actually sells a solid state relay, and the solid state relay allows you to run variable speeds, whether it be a pump or a fan. So right here I have the HALTECH solid state relay. Now when you buy this kit, it also comes with a diode and it comes with a resistor. Now let's open this up and get into what's in here. Okay, so here I have it open. Again, it's a 100 amp solid state relay. Then this is a flyback diode that comes with the kit, and this is a 1K pull-up resistor that also comes with the kit. Because this is a HALTECH piece and I have a HALTECH ECU, this is how simple it is to connect. My ECU is in the car, and out of my ECU there's a trigger wire, and my trigger wire right now is pin number 1 on my big connector, which is I want to say the 36 wire connector is pin number 1 is DPO2, digital pulse output. That wire is going to literally come straight from the ECU and go into this terminal right here, which if you're looking at the relay, it's this terminal right here. Now also from the ECU is a switch 12. So since I was already back behind the ECU, I got the trigger wire and the switch 12, and both of them came out. So again, the ECU will go here, the trigger, and then this one will be the switch 12. Now this is a negative switching method because the ECU is sending a ground signal. So I'm using this diagram right here. If I was getting a positive signal from the ECU, I would wire it up this way. So we have these two parts figured out right here. Now, the next thing to note right here is the 1K resistor will have to get jumped between those two terminals. So the 1K resistor, essentially you're gonna bridge them just like that. So up here, you can just take this one right here, the top left one, which is for your load, and your load would be whether it's a fuel pump, in my case it's a fan. This one, number 1 negative, this one is gonna get grounded to the chassis of the car. So you're just gonna terminate this one, boom, grounded on the car. This one right here, this is where it starts to get funky. You're going to take a wire from the negative side of the fan, which is the black wire, and you're going to go ahead and tie it into this right here. Then the positive, which is the red wire on the fan, is going to go to the positive terminal of the battery. While you're doing that, you're going to install this diode. Now if you notice, there's a little silver mark at the bottom of it. This silver part has to face the wire that's going to the battery, and that's, as you can see in the figure right here. So right here I went ahead and connected the two wires coming out of the ECU. As you can see, there are only two wires here. One is going to be the switch 12 and one is going to be the signal from the ECU. Here's the HALTECH ECU. This is pin B, pin 26. That's the smaller of the two, and the wire that I connected into is pin number 11. Pin number 11 is a switch 12, and that's the one that's sending the signal in that double wire. And again, that's pin D. If you look into the back of the harness this way, where the wires are going into here, you just count from top left across, and down here in the second row to the right is where you'll find pin 11. And as far as pin A, which is the bigger connector, same deal. You're looking at the harness when you, essentially the ECU is over here and it's plugged in that way. The wires are here. You're going to go to the very top left, pin 1. In my case, I'm using pin 1 right here because I'm using DPO2. And the reason I'm not using DPO1 is because the wire person on my car assigned DPO1 for, I want to say he has it on one of my pressure sensors. So I had to use DPO2, which is pin number 1. All right, let's do a little bit of update real quick. So over here, I have 2 red wires coming into this connector right here, and they go straight up and around to that terminal underneath here, which is the lower side of this terminal post down here. So this is going to be the battery hot, and those are going to get connected to right here, which goes directly to the fan. Remember, per the diagram, the positive wire from the fans goes straight to the battery. Now the negative side of the wires from the fan went to terminal 2 plus. Terminal 2 plus right here is already grounded out right here. So these are the negative side of both fans together. Now, another thing that is supposed to happen is from 2 plus, I should be running the flyback diode, this bad boy here. And you can see has a red and a white this is the way it came in the kit. So this side right here needs to get attached to this terminal right here, which is 2 plus, and then the red side should get connected to the positive from the battery. All right, let me try to do another update. So again, right here, this flyback diode is the gray side goes to the positive, so I tapped it into the red wire right here, but then the opposite end goes to number 2 terminal plus 2 on the solid state relay, and then I went ahead and tightened it down. And then this one right here is ground. That's going to get grounded to the chassis. All right, so I got everything wired up, and here's my quick disconnect from this side. Now -4, or pin number on the input side, the input side -4 is going to be the switch signal from the ECU, and this is a switch 12 from the ignition, also coming from the ECU. So both of these wires right here are going to trigger, and these are the load side. Hopefully that makes sense. But right now all I have to do is put it in the car, and I have my laptop over here. I'm just gonna power it up and make sure it cycles the way it's supposed to on pulse. Again, I'm just gonna test the theory that everything is working. Now, right now, in order to get to your thermal fan, let's just close this thing all the way out and act like we didn't know what we're doing. So you can come right here and you can type thermal, and you can see thermal fans pop up. There are 4 of them. This one is clickable because there is something connected to that terminal. So if I click on right here, it pops up, and I have put the Hertz 120. I got the trigger source is gonna be the coolant sensor, and I have these numbers roughly right now. I'll change those later, as well as the RPM offset whenever the fans come on and off, cycle on and off. So you go to wiring, and as you can see, I've mentioned it a few times, DPO2, right? That's pin number 1. As you can see, pin A1 is where you can find DPO2, and that is what is assigned to this fan right now. Now you can see right now state is on, it's on duty cycle. Now, if I just want to test that the fan works, I can click right here and go to switch. So right now, as you can see, it's on switched and it's on state high. If I just want to test it, I can go low and they should come on. And And as you heard there, they did come on. Now you can hear that big humming. Maybe the frequency is a little off, so I'm going to work on the frequency right here and get the frequency correct, because that's what's probably causing the humming right there. I know initially they were at 200, and if I go back to duty cycle and I go 20%, which is fully on, came on a lot more quiet that time. Now let me do 80%, which is slow speed. A little bit better. So the point is that the frequency is a little bit off. So I'm gonna do some research. Let me try 250 and see if that makes it come on a little bit softer. A little bit better still. I'll go 50%. Okay, so it is the next day and I reach out to Induction Performance, then they sent me all the wiring and the settings. So I have the ECU set up, but what I did is I put some low temperatures. It's a little chilly out and the car is never gonna get to like 190 right now in the garage, especially if the fans come on. So I put some low numbers like 120, 130, and it will definitely hit these numbers. But really what I've done is put some percentages for the fans to come on, and I'm gonna sit there and watch and listen if at 120 they actually do come on at 25% and increase little by little up to this number right here. Then if once I know that it's working, I can go ahead and change these numbers to more realistic numbers like 170, 80, 90 up to like 220. So I am going to start the car and watch the temperature increase. You can see my coolant temp right here is 83. And once this hits 120, in theory, the fan should come on at 25%. So you can see that temperature is going up right here, 98, 99. And right now the fans are completely off. So once it hits 120, the fan should come on. You should be able to hear it. So it's kind of hard to hear them over the engine, but they did come on at 120. So you can see right there that it's blowing. And you can see the output is increasing right here. Little by little, it's working its way between percentages. As the temperature increases, so does the output. So it's a slow transition in speed and not all at once. So as you can see, the fans are working. Now here's the issue. There is a setting where if you don't activate it, they will keep running if your ignition is on. So in order to deactivate that, you have to come to this screen and click this button right here, disable when engine stops, and then reboot. Now they're off. So you can turn your ignition on and the fan won't come on, especially if the car has reached your temperature setting that you have for your duty cycle. So now, even though the car is at 160, the fan is not spinning at 40% because I've disabled that feature where the fans are spinning when the engine's off. Now, if I were to start the car, they'll come right back on because the car is already at this number. Another thing I just engaged was enable with AC. So let's say the car was below my starting duty cycle I set up is 120. If I were to start the car and the coolant temperature is not 120 and the AC, I turn the AC on, the fans will come on at 50% duty cycle. So you have all these settings that you can mess around with, but I'm actually going to start the car now and see if the fans do come back on based off the duty cycle I'm working with, which is 40% right here. Okay, so they're working like they're supposed to. I installed the SPAL fans. Now the reason I went ahead and bought that solid state relay is so that when the fans turn on, both of them, they don't turn on at full blast 100%, because what that does is it pulls a lot of power from the alternator and the whole electrical system and shuts the car down. So this is the safest and smooth transition when the fans come on, to have full power for the pump, the coils, and everything else that is getting power from the system. So that is the reason why I have it set up this way. They don't start at full blast, they slowly transition, which is called a soft start. Now also in the future, I'm going to upgrade my alternator to a higher amperage, because the stock one, I believe I read online, only puts out like 90 to 95 amps, and that's not enough to support all the electronics on the car with headlights and the AC and everything else. So I will be updating that in the near future. But in the meantime, the car runs and the fans transition on, it doesn't shut off. So hopefully this can help you in your process of installing these fans and how to go ahead and make them work the way I have mine set up. So as always, thanks for watching. See you in the next one. I'm out.